just letting us in. Bye.
Your hat off, lady.
Drumming gasho. Naman knobs, naman knobs, naman knobs, naman knobs.
Good morning. Thank you for attending the January Shotsuki service. A very happy new year to everyone for the year of 2025. It's hard to believe. I will be calling the, sorry. Can you please, we will please start with Mokosuko and and following with the Shomyo.
Naman knobs, naman knobs, naman knobs, naman knobs, naman knobs, naman knobs.
We will now have the bandana and the chisarana on page 325. For those who are able, would you please rise?
Oops. Sorry, I'm just trying to share this with the people on Zoom. Sharing my screen. Where did it go? Sorry about that. Just give me 2 seconds so that people on Zoom can see it as well. Oops, I don't see it on here. There you go. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. Dhamma saranam gacchami. I go to the Dharma for guidance. Sangam saranam gacchami. I go to the Sangha Sangha for guidance. No one knows.
Please remain standing, and we will now sing the Gatha Shinshu Shuga on page 306. Please be seated. We will now have the homage and Tisarana on page 10 and 11.
We'll read first in English and then in Japanese following that. Homage. Hard it is to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult it is to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we are hearing them. If we do not gain emancipation in the present life, we may not be free from sorrow in the ocean of births and deaths. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures. So please repeat after me. We go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. Everyone? We go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. We go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depth of the teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. Everyone? We go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depth of the teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. We go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all with one accord live the life of harmony in the spirit of oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Everyone? We go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all with one accord live the life of harmony in the spirit of oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriads of kalpas, hard it is to hear such excellent and profound teachings. Now we are able to hear and receive them. Let us try to understand the Tathagata's teachings. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Because it is a joint service, we will read this in Japanese as well. 日本語で三啓問をいただきたいと思います。聖典には、紫の聖典では10ページに載っています。また画面に映っています。三啓問。隣人受けがたし、今すでに受く。仏法を聞きかたし、今すでに聞く。好み根性に向かってどせずんば、さらにいずれの章に向かってか好みをどせん。大衆もろともに指針に参謀に帰依し立てまするべし。自ら仏に帰依し立てまする。まさに願わくは主情とともに、大道を体現して無常意を起こさん。自ら法に帰依し立てまする。まさに願わくは主情とともに、深く共造に入りて知恵海のごとくならん。自ら僧に帰依し立てまする。まさに願わくは主情とともに、大衆を通りして一切無下ならん。無常人人未明の方は百千万号にも愛用ことかたし、我今検問し受持すること得たり、願わくは如来の真実義を月し立てまつらん。ナマンダブス、ナマンダブス、ナマンダブス、ナマンダブス、ナマンダブス。
We will now have the Sambujo on page 89, followed by the chanting of Amida Kyo. During this time, I will be calling the names of your loved ones for the passed away in the month of January. There are 2 burners, so please use either burner. And if you come up for the second time, please just do gasho. Thank you.
Namanabs, 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 namanabs. 本日にここにうやうやしく三仏牽制の奨学を仰ぎ、慎みてスティーブストン仏教会2025年度1月小月法要を言修す。如来栄光の真実心をもって法恩の誠をいたし、仏徳を三端し立て祀る願わくは如来の大慈大悲心をもって無量の功徳一切衆生の上に栄光をしたまわらんことを。ナモ帰依仏、ナモ帰依法、ナモ帰依僧。This morning, in the quietude of Amida's temple, we have gathered here to commemorate the January 2025 Shotsuki monthly memorial service for the Steeston Buddhist Temple, a service in which we remember loved ones who have passed on during this month of January, for the month of January. We faithfully recite the Nembutsu and humbly join our hands in Gassho. May the fragrance of incense teach us the purity of our intentions. May the beauty of the flowers offered remind us of the glory of the Dharma. And may the lights that burn brightly upon the altar lead our thoughts to Amida's eternal light of wisdom and boundless compassion that dispels the darkness of our ignorance. Satin Amida Kyo 조조지모산 요녀세노쇼다이모산 유샤그다이가이노 무료쇼된다이슈그니지문고 조로샤리언주세사요 가즈만 너그버스도 우세가 묘완고그라그고도슈버스고와미라 공엔사이세모샤리어스이노가고 묘이고그라고그슈조무슈그 단주쇼라그고묘고그라그샤리어스고그라고그도 이지주란주 이지주라모 이지주거주 가이세시어주소이요 세거이고그묘와스고그라그샤리엇 고그라고그도우시모지아그도그스이 주망어주지다이전이 본샤부지시행아이도 공하늘이 아니고조 조으로가그야그이 공하늘이 아리자고샤그즈메노 니간지기지주랭게 나여자리 조시기조고 오시기오고 야그시기자고 야그시기벼고 미묘고게 자리여스고그라고그도 조주녀세 그도그쇼가 자리여스 이브드고그도 조사댕가오가이지 주야로그지니 음만나라게 공어주저조이조다 그의의 고그조시묘게 그여다워주만 너그분 속의 지기지겐 농고그번 지기교교 샤리야스 고그라고그조조주녀세 그도그쇼건부시 샤리야스 이거그조우주주기며 사시기지저벽고 그저그 어무샤리 가려빙하금여시조 내쇼주조주야로그지 스와계봉고원조 고강어리기시지모다이버 아쇼도문 여세도 고도슈조먼세요니 가이시드네무드네모네소 자리여스여스이시조 จิตเสสายโยโชโชโชอิชากายปุตโกกุโตมุสัมมะกชุชาริโยตโกปุตโกกุโตโชมุสัมมะกโตจิโมอาโยวุจิตเสโชชุโชไกเสอามิดาบุโยกุโยเซนเองเกโชสะชาริโยสหิปุตโกกุโตมิวุสุหิโตโชโกจุกิโอราโมสุยมิเมียววังหิญญายักเซนจุกักโดจิกสามอนเสยอนจากไอจิเนนโยเนมสเนมเนโสชิชิชาริยสกปุสกกุโตโจจุโยเสกุโตกุโชกชาริยสโอโยอิงาอิปุสกะโกโกวามินาชาริยส
阿克内南洋市有馬Janet Setsuko アサリキクエ堂前久次郎堂前信夫浜田レジ浜出勉浜出宇野助
シャリアミダブジョブズイライオガニガウジャリアズイブズムリョムエショモンデシガヤラ
浜口翔一郎原田明子原田英吉原田茂ジャック林光恵林田アグスティーナ広瀬麻子広田直吉井上レイ井上トミ石田翔太郎岩田久恵川瀬忠義木村久志北村美智子小林ジェンオ小林のりお201日202日203日204
200四日205日206日201日一心無乱語に名十字神
小島民野
現在午前世人十字神武天皇即徳往生阿弥
近藤千恵子
国ら国土サリヨスガ現世理公設寺
小柳光雄倉本訓治倉本都
昔義苦毒道法薬阿宿美仏趣味道仏大趣味仏趣味が仏妙音仏如是と五が社主小仏学王国水後上世相因部三千大千世界出上実願尿道修上心霊小三不可思議苦毒一切小仏小五年行者利用す南無世界不日願の無明門後仏大円見仏趣味の仏無量精進仏如是の五が社主
松原千代子松尾ダイアン千恵子松尾静江森本信子森下ひわ子
一切小仏小五年行者利用す採用世界無量寿仏無量寿仏無量寿仏大好仏大名仏法祖仏上皇仏行世の五が社主小仏学王国水後上
賢治
演武三千大千世界出上実言尿の修上道心世上三不可思議苦毒一切小仏小五年行者利用す応募世界無縁現仏
中野美奈子中野康夫
二小仏無明仏
中畑真紀夫
五が社主小仏学王五国
中畑康彦
上世相演武三千大
中村藤江
出上実言尿道修上道心世上三不可思議
Seiji Marcus
一切小仏小五年行者利用す慶応世界有志士仏妙門仏妙高仏達摩仏大道仏地王仏如是の五が社主小仏学王五国 水果上世祖演武三千大仙世界
西勲 West 西稔
ご神世称賛
西東洋
一切成仏称号人形シャリオス上世界有本能仏祝法仏五条仏五語仏大円現仏大式法華根心仏シャラ十王仏法華徳仏天一切義仏如
庭付の広し
如世と合が社主小仏各王合国水果上世祖演武三千大仙世界絶上実言尿道修上道心世称賛
野村先
へ空毒一切成仏称号人形シャリオス本如意運河過去名意一切成仏称号人形シャリオス百千難し全如人門世成仏トロ絶妙有行妙者聖書千難し全如人界一切成仏空性五年界徳大見法話のくなら三脈三毛大成功者利オス尿道街道真珠加護急所部小説シャリオス百人オス願語オス願道図願欲生阿弥陀仏国者聖書人道解徳大見法話のくなら三脈三菩提大い国土脈一生脈根性
おいえ数えおいえ雇用
全如人脈心
おの春江
上位国土
お茶で水吉坂本守る
がしき空洞一生分の役所説が昔き空洞にさせご釈迦牟尼仏の一人な
Sakata Mary Sakata Myrna
国土五直悪世五直健直
崎山熊太郎崎山宗
直中徳阿のくだら三脈三
鮫島俊春鮫島俊之
在世間南進使用者利用すと
佐野静子佐藤慶一
南寺徳はのくだ
清水保
三脈三菩提
塩路都
聖子南進使用聖一な仏世宗教医者利用す九章ビク一切世間天にアシュラと文仏所
竹崎久子
歓喜真珠さらいにこうせず阿弥陀
Takeuchi Shigeyoshi Tanaka Emiko Tanaka Hitoshi Tanaka Yoneharu Tani Ichino Harumoto Hamasaburo Teraguchi Mosaburo Kukijima Eiji Ueno Casey Ueyama Soichi Ueyama Yoshie Yamamoto Kazumi Yamashita Teruo Izaki Masami Izaki Sueko Suzy For those who wish to remember someone who passed away in the month of January that's not from this temple or belongs to another temple, can they please come up and do the Oshoko? Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I will now ask Reverend Grant to please give us his Dharma talk. Thank you.
No one knows. No one knows. No. I'm going to say a few words in Japanese first and then give my talk in English afterwards. So if you don't understand Japanese, you may either nap or look at my funny features or whatever you want to do. 日本語で一言お話しして、その後英語でお話ししたいと思います。まずご三代をいただきますので、皆さん合唱お願いします。如来大悲の音読は身を粉にしても法ずべし。刺繍知識の音読も骨を砕きても射すべしと。ノマンダブス、ノマンダブス、ノマンダブス。皆さん明けましておめでとうございます。本日はようこそ2025年の最初のですね、正月法要に皆さんようこそお参りしていただきました。この年末年始になりますといろいろお寺ではねさまざまな行事があって、特に大晦日の夜、ここではもう10年前ぐらいからかな、2回お参りしてるんですね。昼間の2時に早めの除夜の鐘と言って、大晦日の夜中まで起きられない方ですね、早く寝られる方のために早めの除夜を務めるわけなんですが、去年の大晦日のその昼間の除夜には約670人来てたんですね。しかもその大勢の若い家族、小さな子供さんを連れてですね、大勢参られたわけなんです。で、夜も120人ぐらい除夜の鐘つきに参られたんですね。そしてもちろん元旦に首相へと言って、お正月のお参りがあって、それには40人ぐらい来てたかな。で、その後から初詣ということでゾロゾロって人が来たわけなんですね。私も何度もお昼に家帰ろうと思って、サインまでドアにつけたんですけど、さあ帰ろうと思ったらまた次の人が来るから、全然帰られなかったわけなんですけど、これ、今までっていうか、今までですかね、除夜宴に大体ここにいるのは夜1時過ぎぐらいまでいるわけなんですけど、今までどっちことなかったんですけど、今年はですね、元旦起きたらえらい疲れてるなと感じたわけなんですね。で、やっぱりこれはやっぱり人生の中にはいろいろさまざま、もうやっぱりどうしても避けられない年っていうものがあるわけなんですね。私も末娘と一昨日かな喋ってて、お父さんとお母さんも年を取ってきたからなとか言われてしまって、そうだな、このお寺にいるとですね、錯覚するわけなんですよ。やっぱりお寺に参られる方は、結構年配の方が多いから「先生まだ若い若い」とか言われて、もう最近はもう聞かないですけどね、そう言われたりして、錯覚を起こすわけなんですけど、この、年を取る、常にいろんなことが人生の中にあり、人が亡くなったり、また、体の調子も悪くなったり、さまざまあるんですけど、これは全てですね、お釈迦さんが、この生きる中で苦があるとね、どうしても私たち苦があると、だからこそこの名詞を聞かなければならないではないかと。 今の世の中って常に変化して便利になったり暮らしやすくはなってるけど、それにもかかわらずやっぱり最終的には苦があるわけなんですね。苦しみ、いろんな苦しみがある。でその中の大きな一つの苦しみが愛しているものと別れる。でこの正月、この大勢の人集まってお参りしている、また Zoom でも3、40人ぐらい参加してますが、これだけ多くの人がお参りしていただけることは非常にありがたいことなんですが、同時にそれだけ多くの方々が1月に亡くなられたっていうことなんですね。で毎年この数も増えていっています。ということはやはり愛しているものと別れしなければならない。しかしですね、お別れがあっても心の中から別れることはないんです。ね。ですからお参りするたびにこうやって正月にお参りすると、また亡くなられた方思い出して、手を合わせるとそのお念仏の姿の中にあの人ともう一度一緒になられる。なんとありがたいことだなと。でまたこの1月早々、出だしっていうものが非常に大切で、もう一度あの方と再会できて喜びのお参りに変わっていくんですね。ですからこのただいまいただいたご三代は、一番よく歌われる音読さんという詩からをいただいたわけなんですが、これは親鸞上人の言葉で、やはり如来のですね音読、如来の働きに私たちは感謝するべきだ。また、先に行かれた刺繍知識、多くの命の方々にも私たちは感謝するべきではないかということを親鸞上人が私たちに教えていただいているわけでございます。1月の初めのお参りとして本当になんとですね素晴らしいことだ。また亡くなられた方々とも再会できて喜びのお参りを、今日一緒に参らせていただいています。最後になりますが、もう一度、合唱してお念仏唱えながら今日の日本語の方に変えさせていただきたいと思います。ナモアンダブス、ナモアンダブス、ナモアンダブス。Okay, if you are asleep, wake up. And I'm going to do some things. Hang on. Hang on. Okay. I am going to bring up some things. What do I do with them? Excuse me for a second here. Oh yeah, okay. I gotta share this with the people on Zoom. Okay. Can you all see that? Technology on one hand is wonderful, but it can be a pain as well. So I'm going to start off by reading this passage here. This actually comes from a teaching of the Buddha called the Kalama Sutra. And what it was that there was a village, and around the time of the Buddha, there were all these prophets and holy men and people that claimed to know what the truth is. And so the villagers were kind of confused. And they asked the Buddha, they said, well, how do we know what to follow? Who should we follow? And this it comes from what the Buddha told the villagers. And it says, do not believe in anything simply because you have heard it. Do not believe in traditions because they have been handed down for many generations. Do not believe in anything because it is spoken and rumored by many. Do not believe in anything simply because it is found written in your religious books. Do not believe in anything merely on the authority of your teachers and elders. But after observation and analysis, when you find anything agrees with reason and is conducive to the good and benefit for one and all, then accept it and live up to it. Sounds almost scientific, doesn't it? But the Buddha is saying, just don't believe in things because others have said it, but learn it for yourself. Okay? This is my opening passage. But first of all, I forgot to mention, for those who I'm meeting for the first time this year, Happy New Year to you all. Thank you for coming out. It's wonderful to see almost a full temple now for our January Shotsuki service. At the same time, it's a reminder to us that there are that many people that have passed away that we are remembering in January. But anyways, when we come to the year end and the beginning of the year, we contemplate about change and things, how life changes and things, what has changed over the course of the past year, what kind of changes we're looking forward to in the coming year. And so I was thinking about change recently, and I want some volunteers, and they have to be under, we'll say, under 15. So who do we have that's under 15? Yeah, some of you come up and say, you could, we're even at where you're sitting. So what I want you to do is you have to follow me with this, let's see. Okay. Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is? No idea. Okay. How about you, Kazuki? Do you know what that is on there? A record player. Very good. Record player. Have you seen one before? Yeah. Oh, you have. Okay. Okay, so that's a record player. So once upon a time, we used to play music on things like this. And we used to have these big things called LPs, right? And records, and vinyl records, and we would there's a thing called a turntable, the round thing there, and you have this arm that you have to put on, and it would make this little crackling sound, and then you would get music, okay? This was like in the 70s, now that I think about it, it's 50 years ago now. Wow, okay. So 50 years ago, this is the kind of stuff that we used to listen to. And then, miraculously, they came out with something. Have you seen this? No, that's not a CD player. A what? Tape player? Did you say yes? Cassette tape player. So you see that purple thing inside? That's what we call audio tape. Okay. So I grew up in the age where they had audio tape, and what was amazing about the audio tape was that with the records, you had to listen to what was on the LP. But the audio tape, you can actually record songs that you want. So I know many of the gentlemen here probably made tapes, they call mixed tapes, to send off to their loved ones, to their girlfriends, to woo them with all their favorite songs, right? I remember spending hours in front of this. And you would have to listen. You couldn't just download something. You would actually have to listen to the whole song as you record it, okay? So you would get one album, put it on the turntable, select whatever song you want to record, make sure you have it timed properly, you put down the arm and the music before you put down the arm, you would press the record button on the cassette recorder, and we record the song. You would listen to it and take it off or stop the recording, get the next up. It was very, very labor intensive, okay? So then, from here, things changed again. Do you know what this is? It has a very specific name to it. And everybody who grew up in my generation knows what it was called. So what is this called? It's called a Sony Walkman. A Walkman, okay? Walking, right? You could walk now with your music. It's amazing, right? You can actually take your music outside and walk with it. This is mind-blowing. Never thought of being able to do that before, right? It was kind of clunky though. It was about this big, and you would have to carry it, and you would have this cord and the headphones coming off of it. And so then from there, now you might know what this is. A CD player, right? CD players came out. This was also revolutionary because it changed the way we listen. And the discs got much smaller, and you could put a lot more information on it. And so that became something popular. And Sony also made a Sony Discman, they called it. You could walk around with it, right? So from there, though, today, do you know where do you get your music today? Apple, right? And where does that Apple go on to? Your phone, right? So now, all the music category that I had in my record collection is all onto this little device. It's amazing how things have changed. Thank you for your help, by the way. Things have changed over the years, haven't they? Changed in our lives very quickly. Much has changed. So much has changed. The convenience of our existence has changed so much. And yet, there are certain things that never change. And that is why we're actually here today. One of the things that never changes, and this is what the Buddha said, is that there is suffering in life. There is suffering in life. We grow old, we get sick, we pass away. You guys go back to your seat, by the way. Thank you. Let me take this off. I don't need to see this anymore. Okay. So we go old, we get ill, we get old, we pass away, and we have to part with loved ones. This does not change. Even though life gets convenient, even though our quality of life may improve, the one thing that never changes is this parting that exists. And that is why we come here for these services, is to remember our loved ones. The parting with loved ones can be a very difficult thing. But the parting of the physical body is inevitable. But we can always have them in our hearts. And when we come to the Shotsuki service, it is a time where we rekindle our loved ones. As we come here to all of you, I'm sure have spent moments reflecting on those loved ones you've come to remember. And remind ourselves that they are still very much here with us. And so that is a very important function in our Shotsuki service. Over the New Year's, one of the traditions, and as I mentioned in Japan, is that on New Year's Day, it's called Hatsumode, and families will go to temples to pay their respect. It's to start off the New Year's on the right foot. And I would tell them that, it's not vocalized necessarily, but in Japan, how you start off anything is very important. They call it dedashi. First step, okay? Whether it's first impressions, how we start a business, whatever one endeavor we do, our first step is very important. So for you to come out here at the beginning of January, it's a wonderful way for you to begin the year, to remind yourself of our loved ones. Remind us that we do not belong by ourselves, to remind us that there were important people in our lives that we remember. And if I took it off. That passage by the Buddha from the Kalama Sutra, when he says, just don't believe in things because it's written. But when you examine it and you realize it's true and real, then live up to it. The compassion, the love that we have, the caring that we have for our loved ones, that is true and real. So coming here today is something true and real. And I hope that you will keep that in your hearts as we go forward in 2025. Oh, speaking of which, just after Jeannie says, it's hard to believe how quickly time flies. This morning I flew right to July when I in the opening. So we make mistakes in life, yeah. But the fact is, we're here to remember, we're here to appreciate, and we're here to listen and learn and realize I am here and my loved ones are here with me. And so once again, if I can ask you, please join me as we express our gratitude by placing our hands together in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your Dharma talk. Would everyone please rise, and we will now have the Gatha. Ondok-san is on page 307. Thank you.
Again, just bear with me for a moment as I bring it up for share it.
Thank you. Please be seated. We will now have the offertory.
Join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu.
And this finishes our January service. Would you please pick up your hondo when you have it? Homyo when you have a minute. And just to mention, I think Reverend Grant, do you want to talk about the honko?
Yeah, okay. So 2 weeks from now, we will be having our Honko weekend. Honko is the memorial for the founder of Jodo Shinshu, Shinran Shoni. And usually in Japan, it's on January 16th. So we have it around that weekend. This year, we are very, very happy and honored to announce that we have as our special guest, Reverend Masumi Kikuchi, who was the former minister here in Steveston. She was here for about 3 years here in Steveston. before going back to Japan. And so Kikuchi Sensei will be with us. Actually, her formal name, I think, is Tanishi now. But she got married, but she still goes by Kikuchi Sensei around here. And she will be giving a special lecture in English on Saturday, January 18th at 3 p.m. And it's on the modernization and westernization of Buddhism. And it's part of what she wrote in her PhD dissertation, I believe. So that should be very interesting. If you're able to come out, please join us Saturday, January 18th at 3 p.m., which will be followed by a potluck dinner. We have potluck dinners for special services. So on the 18th, we'll be having that. And then on the 19th, January 19th, Sunday, at 10 o'clock, there's a Dharma School service for kids. And at 10:30, we will be holding our Ho'onko service, again, with Reverend Kikuchi as our guest. And then after that, there's a luncheon that will be held. So if you're able to join us, please come and join us for the Ho'onko weekend. 1月の18、19日に法恩の参りを行います。18日、今回はですね、とても嬉しく、元このスティーブソン仏教会の開教師であった、菊池真澄先生をご招待させていただいています。菊池先生は2005年から2008年の間にここにおられた開教師であります。で、彼女は、土曜日に18日に3時から講演会をして、その後にポットラック、ディナーを行いますがあります。で、日曜日の19日の午前10時半から合同礼拝で法恩の参りを行います。その後にもまたランチをここで婦人会の方々がランチを用意します。なのでもしできればぜひお参りしていただけるようにお願いしたいと思います。ありがとうございました。Thank you. As Jeannie has mentioned, please don't forget to pick up your homework cards and please double check to make sure you get the right one. Also, as a New Year's resolution or activity now for the new year, when you get out of your seat, straighten out your cushions. It saves us 15-20 minutes afterwards straightening out everyone's cushions. So if you've doubled up cushions, that's fine, but just return it back to its original position. Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei. We'll have leave meeting, I believe. Yeah.
Thank you, Reverend Grant.